I don't think economists are heroes, but they're not villains either. When I saw you going to ask me this question, Ross, actually the thing that came to mind was John Maynard Keynes, who, if we're going to use the word hero, I can say is probably my hero as an economist. Keynes has this quote about how it would be great if economists could be thought of as humble and competent, like dentists. The way I kind of interpret what he's saying there is that, the criterion is to be useful. If you can be thought of as useful, then that means your occupation is doing something that's socially worthwhile, socially valuable. And I think economists are like every sort of profession, every area of knowledge. You don't get things right sort of all the time. You're always learning, always trying to improve. But I think against the standard of usefulness, sort of economics does really sort of pass that test that Keynes set. If you look at sort of Keynes himself sort of inventing the field of macroeconomics, which has given us this way to better manage the macro economy, to make sure that sort of we don't get the huge proportions of our population thrown out of work sort of when we have massive business cycle fluctuations, to make sure we're underpinning the well-being of people through sort of welfare systems. I think that economics, it's always staying useful, because it's a moving target. Being useful is a moving target. You've always got to be sort of dealing with new challenges, updating your knowledge to try and be able to deal with those new challenges. So you can never arrive at a state where you say our discipline economics is and will always be useful. I think we can say, look, I think we've done a pretty good job at times of being useful to society, and let's keep working hard to make sure that the profession can keep making that contribution.
Do you think we're going to be more useful now that perhaps economic times have turned a bit, I'm not going to say negative, but interest rates are going up, and there's been a few things that are beginning to happen that haven't happened for 30 years? Do you think the focus is going to be on economists more now? People are going to be looking, going, give me an idea what's happening?
I think the value that economists can have in times when things are uncertain and when there's a threat of sort of really severe gyrations is by helping to come back to sort of principles, to come back to economic theory, sort of to help us think through situations where there are a lot of uncertainty, and really to sort of, I guess, in these kind of dramatic times, avoid the ups and downs being too bad, because you look sort of historically at what happens when you have, say, downturns, recessions that are really bad. It causes huge political instability, causes war, causes famine, all sorts of things and that. So I think the benefit of the usefulness of economists can be particularly great at challenging times by helping to sort of avoid really severe fluctuations in economic activity, which can have all sorts of, apart from just the ramifications for individuals, can have all sorts of broader ramifications which can be undesirable.